To start this video off, I'm going to be talking about how I've seen my teacher set up her writer's workshop. I really enjoyed a lot of the things she did. She had them do a worksheet at the beginning of the semester that showed different ideas, writing ideas, and it was basically just for fun in the beginning, but they'll use it throughout the year for different ideas for writing. And then she had them do a smartboard, or she had the smartboard open for them to drag and drop their names based on different areas they were in their writing process. But to start off, I'm going to talk about this rough draft poster that she had posted. This is how she kind of scaffolded the class and allowed students to be reminded of what process they were on and what they were actually doing. So the rough draft, she talked about how they would just list important events of what happened, and transition words tell order and connect different ideas, and details are descriptive words and sentences. Next, my teacher talked about introductions, and one thing I really liked about her process of writing introductions that she mentioned to the students was ways for them to hook their reader with either sounds or quotations, questions, or describing the setting in a lot of detail. Next, she had a poster full of transition words, which I think is a great idea because even as an adult writer, sometimes it's hard to think of transition words. So for a brand new writer, it's hard to remember different transition words that can be included in the beginning of your writing for each new subject. The next poster that she had that I really liked was the revise and edit poster. It really helped the students see the difference between revising and editing. She used the acronym ARMS for revise, and that was A was add sentences, so that would help improve their writing, remove unneeded words or sentences, and move, change a word or sentence placement, substitute, trade words or sentences for others. And then for their edit process, they could think of the word cups, so capitalize names, places, and I at also the beginning of their sentences. Usage, match nouns and verbs correctly. Punctuation, period, quotation marks. And spelling, check all the spelling that they have throughout their writing. This next poster talks about how to write a closing. So different ideas that can be included in a student's closing is rephrasing their opening, including feelings and emotions about their writing, writing lessons that they learned from their story that they wrote, or something that they hope would happen or hope could happen. Next, I'm going to go into some things that she did at the beginning of the year for her reader's workshop. One thing that she started off with was choosing the Just Right book, which I think is very important. She has this poster hanging in her classroom library, and it helps remind the students how to choose a book that's not too easy, but also not too hard for them. This is another thing that she has hanging in her classroom library to remind the students during Reader's Workshop or during just free reading time the difference between fake reading and real reading, because this is an actual issue for a lot of elementary kids. They just want to sit there and not read. So this kind of helps remind them that she can tell the difference of when they're really reading or when they're just faking it. Next, she had a poster with her guidelines for Reader's Workshop. You must always be reading a book or writing your thoughts about your reading. I really like that she included that students can be writing their thoughts about their reading in their journals, because that's an important part of reading, is reflecting on what you've read. Next, she said you need to work silently so that others can do their best thinking. Use soft voices when conferring with the teacher. Select books you think you will enjoy and abandon books that aren't working for you, even if you've given them even after you've given them a chance. I really like that she included abandoning books because some teachers discourage this, but if a student gets to a certain point in a book and they've tried to enjoy it and they're just not, they need to know that it's okay to move on to a different book. And always do your best work. This is probably one of my favorite things that she did this year. She did readers' thinking marks, so she gave the students sticky notes after she had modeled it for them, and they could write these different symbols here for different things that they see in their book. So this just helps with comprehension to make sure that the students are actually reading and engaging in the book that they're reading. And also I noticed that it helps a lot when she does reading groups so that the students can remember what they've read and have something to discuss when they come to the group. Rather than not being able to remember things they read, they can look back at their thinking marks, and that helps the discussion flow when they come back to their reading group. So in third grade, students are transitioning from reading just picture books or storybooks to reading more diverse literature. So this lesson and these posters helped describe different types of literature and authors' purposes, so to persuade, instruct, entertain, and inform. This is a really fun activity that the students did to help them remember what verbs are. So she had them draw out a card and basically play charades with these cards so they could act it out, and then the other students in the class would have to guess what verb they were acting out. The kids really enjoyed this and they learned a lot from it. The students did an author's study over Patricia Polacco and read several books by her. And these were their book reports that they created. They're obviously not finished, they were just beginning them. But I really liked this idea. It took some extra time for them to do the cutouts and gluing, of course, because it's third grade and you have to do it step by step. But I really do like this idea, and it helps them learn how to create a book report. And personally, she's not going to have them do this, she's just going to have them hang them out in the hall. But personally, this would be a good place for students to also present their book reports in front of the class. I learned a lot this semester, especially about Readers and Writers Workshop that I hadn't seen previously. There are a few things that I didn't get pictures of, but I did see in the classroom. As far as viewing, the students viewed different videos of Patricia Polacco being interviewed about her books. I did not observe a lot of opportunities for the students to speak about things that they had read other than in small groups. Like I had mentioned before, I would personally have them present their book reports to the class. I think that would be a good opportunity for them. And for visual and listening, those things kind of happen every day in a natural way. And reading and writing, those happen during Writers Workshop and Readers Workshop. I think that being able to see Readers Workshop and Writers Workshop in action in third grade was a very educational experience for me, and is something that I think it's hard to imagine until you see it. So being able to actually observe it this semester was a great opportunity.